In a small town tucked between the dusty highways of Arizona and the endless blue sky lived an old man named Harold Briggs. He was 76, quiet as a sunset, and stubborn as the boots he'd worn for 30 years. To most people, Harold was just another forgotten veteran living in a crooked wooden house at the edge of town. But to those who knew him, he was a man who carried both stories and scars heavier than his old pickup truck. Every morning, Harold woke before sunrise, brewed a pot of strong black coffee, and sat on his porch watching the world wake up. He liked the silence. It was the only thing that didn't remind him of the past. One warm August evening, everything changed. Harold was driving home from the grocery store when he saw a boy, no older than 13, sitting alone near the Route 89 gas station. Backpack torn, shoes dusty, face streaked with dried tears. The boy looked like someone who had run too far and had nowhere left to go. Harold slowed his truck, rolled down the window, and called out in his gravelly voice, "You lost, kid?" The boy didn't look up. No, just nowhere to be. Harold hesitated. He wasn't used to company, but something about the boy reminded him of someone, of himself, many years ago, sitting in a bus station wondering whether the world still had room for him. "Come on," Harold said. "I'll get you something warm to eat." The boy climbed into the truck without a word. They ended up at Daisy's Diner, the only place open late in that sleepy town. Over burgers and fries, Harold learned the boy's name was Evan. He had run away from a rough home, the kind that left invisible bruises harder to heal than any physical wound. Harold didn't pry. Instead, he shared stories, ones he hadn't told in decades, about his days in the army, about losing friends, about feeling hopeless but walking forward anyway. Evan listened, and for the first time that day, he didn't look scared. When Harold dropped him off at a small motel for the night, he said, "Rest. Tomorrow will make more sense than today." But the next morning, Evan was gone. The motel clerk said the boy had checked out at sunrise. Harold felt a strange emptiness. In a single night, he had grown used to the idea of not being alone. 3 days later, as Harold sat on his porch watching the sky turn orange, he heard someone calling his name. It was Evan, tired, dusty, but smiling. "I came back," the boy said. "You were the only one who listened." Harold's old heart shook in his chest. "Are you hungry?" Evan nodded. "And I don't have anywhere else to go." Harold looked at the boy for a long moment. Then he stepped aside. "Well, come on in. House ain't much, but it's steadier than the road." That evening, Harold taught Evan how to cook cornbread, how to mend a torn shirt, how to fix a leaky faucet. It was strange. He had lived alone for so long that the sound of another pair of footsteps now felt like music. Weeks passed. Evan enrolled in school. Harold helped him with homework, drove him to basketball practices, and showed up at every game cheering louder than anyone else. Slowly, the old man realized something powerful. He hadn't rescued the boy. The boy had rescued him. By winter, they were no longer two lonely souls crossing paths. They were a family, unexpected, imperfect, but real. And on a crisp December morning, as Harold watched Evan laughing in the yard, he whispered to himself, "Maybe life doesn't end when you get old. Sometimes